Good morning, everyone. I am ah, I'm just getting warmed up as per usual. So trying to get my hands, my arms, and my mind kind of all going this morning. Uh, so I'm thinking about like kind of a block, QB block sort of thing. um, just sketching a little bit, trying to think about different ways that I can sort of make these shapes have a bit of form. Mhm. Great. Looks like we're all the way live, which is awesome. So, mhm, right. I think. Oh Jesus. Yeah, I think. I think drawing in perspective can be really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. Uh, it might very well sort of start off that way, but it can become somewhat intuitive. And I really do think. I really think that working through it, drawing from life, um, learning about how others are able to achieve the sort of depth that they do, it can help you really start to um, get a handle on it. Uh, One thing that I do like to think about here, we got this cube. If you have a square, forgive me, this square, derp. Right, so a square, right? A square can, their circle can fit inside of a square. Okay, just can follow me. A circle can't fit in a square. Okay. Well, if we have this like, block, well, it's six sides, six squares together, make a block. So if we wanted to put this, circle here, we'd draw an ellipse. And the ellipse should fit something like this. Okay. Ah. Hold on. Hold on. All right, something like that. But oh my god, so terrible. Okay, I'll draw another one and see if I get a little bit better this time. It's got to touch right here, this point. There, there, there. I know that. So maybe I can. All right, it's not quite touching, but all right. Well, anyway, all right. Here's the point. You can sort of determine like which direction that your ellipse is going to lean just by looking at the shape of the box, right? So this short axis here can change the color, sort of short axis of your ellipse, right? Which way is it going? Same way as these two edges, right? Going back into space, it's going back that way. This longer axis, change the color again, right? It's totally perpendicular. Hmm. No. Do you ever get like robocalls in the middle of the day? I know I do. So I don't even know. Um, no idea how your information gets out there, but here it is. We're doing information, right? Just a little bit of warm up, and this way, um, you know, you can't say you know, I never tried. I hope that you're just getting warmed up. Don't think about it too much. But if that's a little too complicated, you can always go back to just sort of sketching out these ellipses. Oh my God. All right. So I'm really thinking about using my shoulder here, right? For these ones. When we're sketching, we're doing thumbnails and stuff, we are using the jurisdiction of our hands. That's a really important thing. But while we are, getting warmed up, I do think, having a little bit of from the shoulder, I think that can be really helpful too. What a mess this morning. Oh well. Oh my God. Sometimes you're going to find that you go, you might have a little bit of a better time, sort of doing a clockwise or a counterclockwise, whatever the case may be. Sometimes you might find as you're doing, if you're sketching like sort of these linear straight lines, uh, perhaps that, if you're really trying to make them very, very flat, um, that maybe even like on a diagonal, maybe if you have like a diagonal, that maybe that's even a little bit stronger for you. So you might turn your body, in order to achieve what it is that you're looking for. Um, but yeah, no, I think that's good for a bit of a warm up. Um, cool. Well, hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Drawing for Tattooers. I'm James Wisdom. And why don't we just we're all warmed up. We do a little bit of a stretch, right? So again, I want to, make sure that I sort of stretch out my hand, full extension, right? I want to pull back on it like this. Hold it for just a few seconds. Okay. It's good. Now I want to pull back like this. Maybe that was pushing down. Maybe that's a better way. Pushing down before now pulling back, right? But I want to feel it. I want to feel it right here in the forearm muscles, right? That's where I want to feel it. Okay. Same with this hand. Drawing is physical. Tattooing is physical. Warming up, good way to get going, and then stretching, really, really important. Okay. And then more this way. Don't hurt yourself, right? It shouldn't hurt. If it hurts, then that's too much. Try to make it as here we go. And Amber in the house. Hey, good morning, Amber.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you loud and clear. Just doing some stretches, right? So stretching out this way, pushing the hands together this way. Yeah, getting warmed up, getting loosened up. These are all really important things. And then, hopefully you're going to be able to work for a long time. Use your right. Well, anyway, good morning, Amber. It's so good to see you today. How are things?
Things are good. I'm going crazy, rushing to get orders filled.
Tell us more. What kind of orders do you got going on?
I've got Thanksgiving nails on. I'm painting the tiniest set of frozen nails I have ever seen.
Awesome.
They're for a 5-year-old. And that is the tiniest thing I've ever painted on a nail.
Wow.
Got that one, and then I've got the other hand, which is here.
So cool. Yeah, like so I hope that you're doing your stretches before you get started on all that meticulous labor. It is really I think it really can be tough. Let's see, what do we got here? Just checking the chats, right? So if this is working for you, video is blurry on YouTube. Oh, how blurry is it? Mine isn't too bad. Kyle and Creature are in the chat and they're letting us know how things are going. Thanks, everybody. So if this is working for you, you can let us know in the chat. That's always appreciated. Maybe, let us know where you're beaming in from. Let us know where you're watching us from. We always do enjoy, getting to interact with everybody that, watches the show. Well, I haven't done my opening in a bit, so I'm a little rusty, but we could probably get going. So again, welcome to Drawing for Tattooers on Guy Atchison's Reinventing the Tattoo Network, where tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are all encouraged to join in these live stream and real world events. We beam out nearly every single day, and with your help, have become a quality network of live and on-demand content. So you can find us in all these fine places: the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store. We have a YouTube page, Facebook page, Roku, and there's also a podcast. You can find it on Apple and Spotify. But of course, you can always find the latest and greatest at reinventingthetattoo.com. We have a number of staple shows that I'd like to plug right now. Starting on Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern, we have Skill Building Sundays drawing group hosted by Jason Leeser. That's followed at Mondays at 9 a.m. Eastern, Drawing for Tattooers. That's this show. You made it. We also have at 5 p.m. on Mondays, Let's Talk About Feelings with Robbie Ripple. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern, we have the subscribers exclusive drawing group. I'm going to be leading that group tonight. So if you're going to be there, yeah, make sure, I'd love to see you. So make sure to, get your drawings all finished up from last week. Send them to Sandy at Reinventing the Tattoo. And, we'll look at your drawings. We're going to do another project. It's a really great sort of community to be a part of. And so if you're a subscriber to the Reinventing the Tattoo Canon or the Evolution, you have access to the drawing group every Monday at 9 p.m. Let's see. So on 11 a.m. Let's see. I think my I think my list is a little old, a little dated. So we do have the Tattoo Now show. I believe that's Tuesdays at 11 a.m. And then on Thursdays at 6 p.m. we have the Tattoo Collecting 101 podcast hosted by Fawn Baker and the Red Tree crew in Columbus, Ohio. I know Kyle's out there. Kyle Bernstein, he is like a fully fledged tattoo artist now. So if you've been, involved in the community, yeah, you've been following Kyle Bernstein's journey. It's amazing. Watch him go. Okay, so again, we'd like to thank some of our sponsors right now. WorldTattooEvents.com, largest, most comprehensive resource for tattoo events worldwide. TattooNow.com, technology for tattooers, leading edge in professional development management. And then, of course, we want to thank Guy Atchison for being the founder and inspiration behind Reinventing the Tattoo. You can learn more about by visiting GuyAtchison.com. Yeah, that's there it is. That's the opening. We did it. So. Again, I've been, really thinking about like, what is it that we are, we're trying to accomplish. And I think what we're trying to do is we're just trying to keep a conversation going. Right. So you being here, people like tuning in and stuff like that. That's ultimately, that's really all we're trying to do. I think, we were talking yesterday with Jason Leeser, and he was talking about, self-improvement. And there's so much that's really important there. But of course, it's like you reach another level, or you or you retrogress back a level, whatever, you're always going to run into new problems. And so like, being like too positive about stuff, it kind of just sort of like papers over the the void, as it were. And so I guess when we're thinking about like what it is we're doing, we're being creative, and creativity is destruction. That's really what it is. It's destruction. And so
But
Um,
everything is created from destruction and chaos.
for sure. No, for
Without
sure.
that, you can't create anything.
For sure. And that's exactly, that's exactly what we're going for. Hey, creature, good morning. Great to see you. Can't hear you. But we were talking about just really briefly, like, the creative process and how on earth it is that we are, uh, how it is that we find, like, the thing itself in, in doing this really, uh, something that's like, that's very, it's temporal, right? It's finite. It's going to be erased. It's going to be destroyed. you know, these are the things I think that are, they're really interesting questions. Um, and I think it's helpful. Creature, turn your phone this way. Yeah, you're doing it. Turn it almost. One more shot.
Portrait. I think your auto rotate is off.
Whoops. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Well, don't worry about it, creature. I mean, if it doesn't, if the technology fails us, I think that's, you know, what to get creative with it. So, um, well, you're here. We still have a few viewers that are watching us, and I think that's so exciting. It always trips me out that people like to to hang out with us. Hopefully, they're drawing and stuff. Hopefully, there's things that you're getting from the content, and something that I wanted to share with everybody. Let me see if I let me get it queued up so that way it's yes, right here. Okay, I have it queued up now. I will let me share this. Yeah, this. Okay, so I hope it's hard to share the screen and know. Okay, I think you can see everything right here. Okay, what are we looking at here? Well, um, this is from Andrew Loomis's book, Successful Drawing. We've touched on this book, um, you know, a few times throughout the course of the show, and there's a lot of really, I think, a lot of really great uh, knowledge in this particular book. And I mean, Andrew Loomis has made several books, of course, but what we can, it's always uh, it's always great, I think, to sort of look to uh, you know to others for instruction, and to also always to challenge yourself. So uh, what we're going to look at here is just a couple of really simple uh, ideas that you know you can always bookmark this, go back to it. You can always buy this book and and check it out that way. But just a few simple concepts that might very well be really helpful for your particular drawing practice. Okay, so so this is what Loomis is talking about, right? So he calls these the 5 P's, right? Um, so number one, proportion, 3 dimensions, placement, position in space, perspective. Let me zoom in. I'll zoom in so that way we can see them. Hopefully, you can see them a little bit more. I love this. I love these little illustrations, right? So proportion, the 3 dimensions, placement, a position in space, perspective, relationship of viewpoint to the subject, planes, surface appearance as defined by light and shadow, and pattern. So, you know, again, these are very, almost I'm going to say intuitive, but very simple ideas. Um, and if you are sort of, you know, considering them as you are developing your compositions, you very well might have a bit more success, right? That's the name of the book, Successful Drawing. Um, all right, so a few continuing, just a few other things. Okay, he calls these the back up a little bit, the 5 C's. All right, so let's check it out. Conception, right? A rough indication of an idea. Construction, an attempt to establish the forms from life or basic knowledge. Contour, the limits of form and space according to viewpoint. Character, specific qualities of an individual units of your subject in light. Consistency, all the essentials of construction, lighting, pattern, organized as a unit. Um, and I think, like if you look here at this, like this last, let's call it a thumbnail, right? I mean, it's exceedingly gorgeous. It's very beautiful um, little rendering. But of course, you can see it really started from this very rough, this conception, right? Very rough, rudimentary things. Just a simple relationship. It gets refined a bit, more. Again, so there it is, construction. And if you look back here to these notions here, there's an overall relationship to proportion, right? There's a certain placement. There is a perspective. There is a perspective here, right? So we can see it easily with the indication of like here's the sea level, right? You can see down here in this bottom. It's pretty noticeable. Um, Sea level is the same as the horizon, is the same as eye level, right? All this does is it organizes objects in space. So you're either seeing something, you're either looking up at it or you're looking down at it. It can be easy to get very, too rigid, thinking about like all these rules and stuff. But that basic organizing principle, thinking about eye level in terms of perspective, that can really help you, generate something that's very convincing. Um, but again, shapes,
It's good.
very basic shapes that can really be, where it begins. And then before you get into these details, right? Looks like contour, that's a detail. Character, that's a detail. And then coming up with an overall kind of harmonious, um, like relationship between all those elements. That's something that's going to be discovered through the process, right? You can't get to this, let's call it a symphony, if you like, um, without sort of taking all of these components, right? And I think a good way to think about it, or a good way to think about the forms, right? It would be there's this old saying, right, that you know the sum of the parts, right, is other than the whole, right? So you know all of these things come together, right? Again, just rough thumbnail sketch, some basic shapes, some outlines, some shading, right? But what do we get at the end? Something that's other than all of that stuff put together. We get like a sense of life, if you like, right? There is something here, right, in this little drawing that's evocative of a story. Now, there's not storytelling per se. This is just about relationships of light and form in space. But we're going to, through what Loomis calls our intelligent perception, come up with something. We're going to fill in the gaps, if you like, right? There's all kinds of gaps in here. Like, what's this about? You're going to come up with a story that you tell yourself about it, and so let's see. I'm going to go into just a bit of forgive me, scrolling, just a bit of this reading for us. So, suppose we ask ourselves what good drawing is. Let us think first of the qualities that make up a good drawing. These point out the departments of our craft. Anything we draw is dimensional. It has height, it has breadth, it has thickness. There's a ratio between the three dimensions, which we call proportion. Then there are all the parts within the subject. They have ratios one to another. And if all these are correct, add up to make an overall dimension correct. A drawing cannot be good if it is not in proportion. So let us call proportion the number one element. He's going to go through all of those categories that we were, just talking about. But let's see here. I'm gonna stop sharing. Come back to it. Right. So these simple, categories can be so helpful. I know that they're basic, but if you leave one of them out, what's going to happen to the composition? It might be better. Who knows? I'm not going to suggest that these rules. Loomis goes that far. I think says that you have to have them for it to be a good drawing. I'm not going to go that far, but I will say that, stopping to consider them, or if there's some, if you're having an issue with your drawing, going back and looking through these, that might very well help you sort of determine what it is that's going to be the best, way forward for you. What is it going to be? What is going to, help you get the result that you're interested in? So, let me see here. Let's I want to check the chat. See, we got a few people that are dialing in. It says, hello, best regards from Poland. That's Aru Tattoo. Thank you, Aru Tattoo. It's great to have you. Let's see. In the ready to join screen before everything in the room, did you have the ability to go to options or settings cogwheel? Not sure, Kyle, but thank you. It's so great to hear everybody in the chat. All right, so how's it going, everybody? Does anybody have any drawings they want to share or anything like that? Here we are. We are gathered together here today. So, and Creature, I don't know if we can hear you today. If you're available. Yes, video worked. Mike didn't. Well, thank you for joining. If you have anything that you wanted to to share with us, we'd love to have it. Thank you. I'm not sure if I can. Let me see if I can make you this is a new streaming platform for me, and so I don't know how to make yours the biggest one, but very nice wings and letters and halo and stuff. Is that going to be for a tattoo later on, or are you just drawing Flash? Yeah, excellent. I guess I can't ask like a multifaceted question. Sorry, but it's yeah, very good. Well, all the best, and I know that you're opening up your shop soon, and we can't wait to hear more about it. Amber, I want to definitely ask you if you had any drawings that you wanted to talk about, or if there's any other artwork. I mean, we saw your nails. I know you're busy with stuff. Have you been tattooing lately?
Yes, I have, but I am horrible at remembering to take a picture when I'm done. I'm constantly messaging people. Can you send me a picture of that?
Well, it's I think it's easy to do. It's easy to forget, especially it's like you're trying to make sure that they're all wrapped
Yeah,
up. You
I've
get
got a lot
paid.
of projects going right now. I'm tattooing every week. I'm doing nails nonstop because everybody wants holiday nails. So this is my busy season.
Outstanding.
Summertime when everybody wants summer nails, and the holidays are my busy season for nails. And somebody recently gave me a big box of bones. So I'm working on some 3D art.
That's hold on. Good. No, I'm yeah. I don't mean to put you on the spot. I'm just like I'm like,
No, it's okay. I'm
interested.
good.
But
Somebody recently gave me a big box with turtle shells, deer skulls, femurs, phalanges, all kinds, spine, vertebrae, all kinds of cool stuff in it. Because they live in the woods and they find stuff and collect it for me. And I'm
sick.
like, this is going to be fun.
Oh, that's sick. Cool. No, I can't. Well, I can't wait to see. You're posting all the time as well, so I can't wait to see some of
But
your.
these are the two sets of nails I did last night.
Amazing. No, it really is. It is it's a craft, right? It's a real craft.
Custom nails are a lot.
Yeah. No, it's. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate the.
At least I didn't have to paint any tiny characters on these ones.
Outstanding. Well, I I did a drawing for last week's. Let me see here. Let me see if I am still on with my Zoom. Oops. I see. Give me 1 second to get this to get my screen all fired up here, and I'm gonna show a drawing, and it's I did it on my tablet with Procreate. It has this, it has that little playback feature. So it's so fun. Let me see. AirPlay, share that thing. Okay. And cool. Yeah, there's a bit of a workaround here to be able to share the screen, but there's, it really is, I really do like um, this new platform that we're using.
My
All right.
opinion
So,
of it is chill out.
mm,
See how it works.
yeah. Well, this is my drawing that I made. This is the finished version.
Oh,
Little
that's so cool.
goldfish. Thanks. Yeah, little goldfish swimming through the coral. So let me see if I can do this
I
video.
love the shadow on the coral.
Thank you. I'm gonna zoom it back a little bit so we can see the whole thing. All right, so this is how we do. Creature doesn't like the platform. I understand, Creature. So this is how we go about our Monday night exercises. And thank you, Creature. Love your art too. We start off with some inspirational images, and I like to make sure that they're right there, so I can kind of go through the most obvious ones. And then again, sort of starting off with this idea, this very rough concept sketch, right? This conception, and then through that, right? I don't know if I'm really like consciously thinking about all those Loomis categories that we were just going over, but
Well,
certainly,
you're supposed to learn the rules like a professional so you can break them like an artist.
I think that's a really fun way to state it. The other thing is that, like, you have to internalize stuff so that way you don't have to really think about it. You can start to allow it to function almost like in the background, as it were. And so uh, I definitely started off with this really rough sketch. I went through tone, just sort of thinking about like the overall tonal value, what's darkest, what's lightest, and then I I went through and started to think about the color. As far as the color is concerned, I really was trying to consider the value of it. Now there's going to be like a warm, warm versus cool kind of relationship that I'm trying to, to maintain throughout within the color. But how dark, how light? These are the things that I think are the most important. Um, but again, the composition uh, is evolving over the course of the drawing. So there really are, there's a lot of variables that are, being considered. Um, and uh, I think just letting it. Let's see. May I recommend changing the branch coral to a plant? It's just that the goldfish are freshwater. Totally. I think that's a great one. Maybe this one is in a tank. But I love that. I think you know, um that's something that I really wasn't even thinking about. It's just purely imaginative. Here's a fish, here's like something generic that fish is going to be inside of. So a branch rather than coral. I think that's really really a good suggestion. Um, uh, I had a really interesting experience just the other day. I was doing a tattoo and it was on the ditch, the forearm ditch,
Ooh.
and it's thank you, Jason. And so we wanted to put an eyeball in there, right? This is a pretty awesome option, right? Put an eyeball in your, in your arm ditch. Um, and we put the we put the this eyeball stencil on, and it was like, something doesn't seem right. It was like, it was a right eyeball on the left arm or something like that. We caught it, and I'm like, why don't we try it the other way? We reversed the design, and so there was something about it just felt more kind of like it felt more like natural or relatable or something like that. And I feel like you know just giving it that little bit of awareness, uh l- like we just got from Atomic Injections. Thank you so much for that feedback. That, you know what I mean? You just sometimes it's just those little tweaks, right? Those little tiny sort of alterations that are, they're going to make the huge difference. So yeah, no, I'll put some more branch sort of character to this one. But that is my drawing to share. Thank you, everybody. Um, check out the check out the chat. Love a little bit of teal at the bottom of the fish. Thank you, Jason. Um, such a killer job. Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate you, man. Make it a zombie hand. All right. Um, um, so drawing every day. Hopefully, this is something that is not holding you back. I, you know what I mean? Like, if it doesn't, it sounds funny, but there is, counterintuitive, but like trying to force it, right? Forcing the drawing every day, that can be, uh, might not be the best thing. Again, there might be a way that you can start to work it into your, there's a daily practice. You want to draw, there's stuff that you want to draw. I think thinking about drawing in different ways, again, we're going to have to draw for our clients and draw, tattoo designs. Um, but that's what I really do. Let's see, we got somebody else. I really do try to, to try to keep my hand busy. I really do those little drawings all the time, like I do in the beginning, warming up with like little boxes or ellipses or whatever. Um,
Sometimes I just do that in a day. If I'm not drawing anything else, if I don't have time, I'll at least do my warm-ups, because if I don't, when I go to draw, even after I warm up, it takes me a while to get in the flow.
yes, I I'm I'm not the only one, right? And I'm not the only one to suggest doing that too. And you know what I mean. So I think this is these are good practices, right? So even like okay, so if you get bored doing those warm-ups, warm up with something else, right? It's just a physical expression that's going to really again, like sort of uh, get your mind working, get your get your hands warmed up, your arms. This is what's like um I mean, it could be all that it takes. You just sort of get lost in this pure repetition of doing it, and then all of a sudden,
Like
boom, you're
or
yeah, you're
why
inspired.
um like dates just keep going
That's
because
a
it
fun one. Yeah, no, that's a fun little exercise too. Hmm. Simple, like an infinity symbol, right?
creates just over and over again, connecting to each other.
I do hate doing that as a tat. I mean, it's like I don't know. I don't want to. If you have an infinity tattoo, no judgment. I'm not judging you. It's just
And
they can be a bit
what
of a challenge. Um, yeah, perfect circle tattoos. Again, those are tough. So all respect to the geometry, people out there. They do all the geometry tattoos.
slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, exactly. The thing that you do. Some people really love the photorealism, right? Uh, I I do enjoy using reference, but I like the deviation, right? I like to sort of do something slightly different, and that way I really like doing like a pure photo reproduction. It's not the most interesting for me, but others they really find that um, something that Guy Atchison talks about in reinventing in the book and stuff, and is leaving a little bit of room for artistic discovery, right? While it is that you are um, you know you're planning out for these designs, you're executing them, you have to leave a bit of room for artistic discovery. And so I do, that must apply even if you are doing this, pure one-to-one sort of reproduction of something. There's going to be some translation that's in there, right? Um, and I heard it too. It was sort of interesting, funny. Somebody said, you don't experiment during Thanksgiving, right? Like you're cooking Thanksgiving dinner, right? That's not the time to be experimental. you know, Trying something new with the macaroni and cheese or whatever, right?
Yeah, I posted
Like,
something a couple weeks ago that said you need 3 to 5 years experience and 3 references to make Thanksgiving mac and cheese.
yeah, I love that. It's so right. I think the same thing may apply, right? When it's you know, let's say it's game time, right? You're gonna do your tattooing. That may not be that might not be the time to be completely experimental, without sort of being very considerate. There's going to be times you're going to have to try new things, right? There's going to be times that you're going to try new things, but uh you know I think when I was a younger tattooer, I wasn't as conscientious of this. Oh, let's just try this out. It's I think that there's again, there's a time and a place for the experiments, and that's in this daily drawing stuff that we're talking about. You know, if you can get warmed up and get into the spirit of doing some drawings, then you're really going to find that, experimentation, um, it can occur to you, right, in those moments. So it does seem almost like you're in a flow state. You're
Yeah,
really just sort of moving through, and then you try something you've never tried before. And in that instance, um, you know, you want to try it out, under conditions that are going to yield you, the results that you want, and or that you can, take a step back and study. But again, being able to, you know, paint your painting, tattoo your tattoo, focus on getting those skills and then applying them, to the best of your ability. So being prepared is a really good way to go. You know, freehanding something without a real understanding of how you're going to structure the tone, how you're going to, um, how you're going to finish it, all of these things I think are, they're really are, they're good to consider. And so, if that's helpful, uh, then I'm really happy. Um, let's check it out. Looks like the chat is is taking a break right now. Um, and and yeah. So to recap, today we got warmed up, talked about perspective a little bit in our warm up, some stretching, right? Hopefully, those are things that you can, maybe take away from our project that we're doing here. Um, Something that it's never, that's never like mastered, I guess. You know what I mean? That's almost like an automatic thing. You can warm up and you can your, stretch out your body. That's something that's really, that can be easily sort of integrated, like brushing your teeth. You know what I mean? You can do those things, and they don't have to be enjoyable, you know. But again, I think you get an enjoyment through the repetition of it. You're constantly doing it. You do it every day. It does become a habit, and that can be really, I think, beneficial. The other thing, right, that we talked about Andrew Loomis and his concept of the five C's, as well as you know, the five P's. And I will let's
He
look at
like
them really quick one more time because it's so easy to look, so easy to see them. Let me get them. Let me get it fired up here. I will show these one more time for you all. Right. So again, just to kind of go over it, and then maybe again, like we were talking about, these aren't so much like, these rules that you have to break, but more things that once you internalize them, they can be very valuable sorts of concepts that help to structure the things that, that you draw, or it gives you insights into be able to achieve the things that you want, to achieve, right? So again, considering proportion, right? What is the ratio between, like, the width, right? The height, um, the depth, 3 dimensions, placement, right? Positioning your objects in space so that way they have, like, some sort of sense of like depth, right? Again, this is this 3 dimensional idea, but there's, uh, this is in front of that, or this is a little further back than whatever. Um, for all that to work, it has to be perspective. All right, we don't have to do all of this, this very like, you know, um, like linear perspective that's very tight and stuff. But instead, I think just really being considerate about where is the point of view, right? Are you looking up? Or are you looking down? Again, we have talked about this here, several occasions, but there are ways that you can, sort of structure this perspective so that way it's, it fits your needs. But, in any given point, thinking about like, I'm looking up at this object, or I'm looking down on it, it can be really, or directly at it. This can be a really helpful. Um, the planes of the object. This is going to help describe the light, right? Where's the light coming from? Indexing that, right? It's from the upper right or whatever. The pattern, right? There's going to be an overall pattern to your design of tones, right? The tone is going to tell this tale about where the light is, how the planes are shifting, and then again, you are considering those other things as well. And then as far as these five C's go, back up and see, just so you can kind of get an overview of them, conception, rough idea, construction, contour, character, consistency, and then I might add critique, right? There might be a sixth C, that we are that we aren't even saying here, right? And that might be, feedback. And in that way, you're ultimately getting, a very well-rounded mirror of what it is that you're working on. So, with that, I think we're just about to the hour.
That
And
was
I know, but sometimes concision is the best way. And so, Amber, uh, tell us where we can find you, and maybe we can put in an order for some of your fantastic nails that you're making.
yes, I make press-on nails constantly. Even when I don't have orders, I'm making them because I have ideas and I'm horrible at describing them. So I just make them so I get them out of my head. But my name is Amber Morgaine. You can find me on all social media platforms under Amber Morgaine and at Looking Glass INK on Facebook.
Fantastic. No, thank you so much for being here, and again for your interaction and for sharing your work. Love it. Let's see. We've got Creature. Creature, we don't want to leave you out. Creature, you are Creature's Cave, and we can find you on the internet at Creature's Cave. I'm trying to read it. It needs more value, needs more tonal value. I can't read you. No, I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming, and be on the lookout for Creature's new project. It's coming. It's coming soon. So next time, we are really
I
looking
got
forward to
to
hearing
go
from
for
you.
my next vacation.
Say that one more time, Amber. I didn't catch it.
I know where I'm going for my next vacation.
Sick. Yeah, amazing.
Some creaturing.
Yeah, no, it's a really exciting new venture for Creature, and we are rooting for you. And again, it really seems like education is at the heart of your the heart of this enterprise that you're doing. And so again, I do support that very much. Just return to the chat, Adrian, Alex. Hello, Adrian. Thank you so much for joining us and for saying hey in the chat. So cool that you're here, and for everybody else that's watching us, hello again. Thank you for coming. I'm James Wisdom. This has been Drawing for Tattooers. You can find me on the internet as Tattooing Wisdom. Can't wait. Heading to Puerto Rico for the International Tattoo Convention, Puerto Rico. I know Jason Leeser is going.
Mm-hmm.
Seth Mushrush is also going to be there, amongst others. Right? There's going to be many great tattooers there. So make sure if you are going to be in the Puerto Rico area, it's the end of November through the very first week of December. Come check us out. We'd love to see you. So anyway, again, thank you for coming. This is Drawing for Tattooers on Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo Network. Thanks again, Guy and Gabe, for everything you do behind the scenes, making this possible. Say hello to Brazil. What's up, Brazil? It's so cool that we're all over the world, baby. It's international. so wild.
I can imagine what time some of these people got to get up to catch this.
Wow.
9 is hard enough.
Yeah. And Kyle says, what's up? Kyle Olson, everybody, friend of this show. Yeah, we love you, Kyle. Thank you so much for for being in the chat. Jason, Lisa, everybody, thank you so much for being in the chat. Happy drawing, everybody. And we'll see you next stream. All right. Bye now.
Great.